Okay, Brian, I'm going to start with you. So I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a really straight shooter. I mean what I say.
True.
I say what I mean. What you say, you can take literally. What I say, you can take literally. What do you think of this? The idea that we can't take what our president says literally.
For one thing, on Ebony's urging, I have used you on, looked at you on Wikipedia. They do list you as a straight shooter. So
They
I know what I think is, too, is, number one, on the many things about Donald Trump, you could say, never been done before, out of the ordinary, an anomaly. He looks at it another way. Devin Nunes made more sense and done more good for Donald Trump than I think almost anyone in the Trump organization by using his credibility there to define it. Now, for Donald Trump at 6 o'clock in the morning to come out and say that is huge. In the history of the country, to talk about a past president like that, even though we've had intramural fights before, is significant. What he's trying to say, I think, what Donald Trump is saying is, I'm hearing things about my organization that only people who have tapped the lines could possibly know. And there's no rush here, and that's one thing we picked up when we had a chance to interview him. He says the biggest rabbit hole ever is this Russia situation. There's nothing going on. So I understand his frustration, and he's saying, I welcome the investigation. Let's find out what's going on. Then out of nowhere, Robbie Mook joined our show yesterday morning on Fox and Friends, and he said, oh yeah, we read transcripts. We read transcripts because evidently some Russians were being tapped, and they were talking to some Trump associates. So a lot of this stuff is he's putting it together, and then Mark Levin comes out and says, I have 6 public sources, Washington Post, Guardian, New York Times, and Heat Street, that have come out and said that there are reports of wiretapping that are going on there. So he put together the case that way. Donald Trump said, put it out there. It seemed definitive, but he's trying to say, give him a mulligan on this because he's new to politics.
Yeah, I mean, Melissa, do you buy that, though, because he's new to politics?
No.
Maybe we... All right. The other thing I wanted to ask you specifically about, too, is Sean Spicer said that this was all above his pay grade when he was asked about this. Again, I think just having an investigation, I think the American public are more than open to that.
Absolutely, but I think that we're all falling for the Donald Trump trick again, where he throws a Molotov cocktail in one direction, everybody goes running after the explosion, and he's moved on and he's off doing something else. I mean, here we are on a Wednesday still talking about something he said on a Saturday. We're doing exactly what he wants us to do. Meanwhile, he's off talking to people, making deals on the ACA. He's talking to business leaders about other programs. I mean, he's moved way on from this, and we're still talking about it. I think it's a strategy. It's effective. He turned the page on what was happening right before that. Who's still talking about what was happening right before that? That was Jeff Sessions.
But based on everything you just said, Kilmeade, do you think that he should have let on a little bit more to what led him to that conclusion and led to that tweet on Saturday? Should he let us know what he knows?
I'll give you this. I would say you're right about the Molotov cocktail, and you're right. He should go ahead and tweet at 6 o'clock in the morning to change subjects, but do it as a question. Yep. What I would like to know is, will the House Intelligence and Senate Intelligence Committee look into who might have been tapping our phones like the same way you're looking into? That would have been perfect, but however, this was done very ham-handedly in a way in which, if I was Donald Trump, I'd say, listen, I'm not happy with I'm not unhappy with the last 40 days. I would say, I would no longer tweet directly. I will give it to somebody in communications who knows me, and we'll siphon these things out so he no longer has to spend 4 days having a staff.